Hey, you ever have a night where the world just stops and you're left standing in it, wondering how you got so damn cold? That was me, last winter, stranded on a snowy Chicago street, shivering on a bus stop bench in nothing but a thrift store dress and a cardigan that had seen better days. My name's Lena, and this is the story of how one frozen moment changed everything. It was late, the kind of late where the city feels like it's holding its breath. I'd been tutoring kids in Englewood all evening, helping a fourth grader wrestle with fractions, and I missed the last bus home. My phone was dead, my fingers were numb, and the snow was piling up like it had a personal vendetta. I was curled up, trying to disappear into myself, when headlights cut through the dark. A guy stepped out of a sleek black SUV, his coat probably worth more than my rent. He crouched down, looked me in the eye, and said, "You're okay now, let's get you warm." His name was Caleb, and he didn't wait for me to argue, just scooped me up like I was made of glass and carried me to his car. I should have freaked out, right? Some stranger picking you up in a snowstorm? But there was something about him, quiet, steady, like he'd seen his own kind of cold before. In his car, the heat wrapped around me like a hug, and I caught my breath, mumbling about missing the bus. Caleb just nodded, said, "Happens to everyone," and drove. His place wasn't a mansion, but it was warm, lived-in wood floors, a crackling fireplace, a black and white photo of an older woman on the wall, smiling like she knew something you didn't. He handed me ginger tea, a blanket, some toast with peanut butter. I kept saying, "You don't have to do this," and he'd just shrug. "I'm not letting you freeze out there, Lena." We talked a little that night about my tutoring, how I stayed late for kids who reminded me of me, scraping by, always proving I belonged somewhere. He told me about his mom, a social worker who raised him alone in Detroit, gone when he was 16. I saw it in his eyes, that ache of carrying too much for too long. The next morning, he made oatmeal, drove me back to campus, and slipped me a thermos of coffee with a note. "Eat something, rest when you can." I didn't know what to make of him. Kindness like that felt like a trick. Weeks later, I was back at the tutoring center, running on fumes, skipping meals, pushing through headaches. I was helping a kid named Marcus with decimals when the room spun, and I hit the floor. Next thing I know, Caleb's there, kneeling beside me, his face all tight worry. Apparently, I'd listed him as my emergency contact and asked me when. It's a blur. He carried me out again, but this time, I snapped. In his apartment, wrapped in another damn blanket, I let him have it. "I don't need fixing, Caleb. I've been holding it together since I was a kid, 2 jobs, late nights, sending money home. Don't you dare think I owe you." He stepped back, stung, and said, "This isn't about control, Lena. You matter to me." That stopped me cold. Nobody'd ever said that, not without wanting something back. I looked at him, saw the fear behind his calm, and I broke. "I love you," I said, "but I can't do this if it's just you saving me." He didn't say anything. I walked out, heart in my throat, the door clicking shut like a full stop. Days turned into weeks. I threw myself into tutoring, won a fellowship for community educators, stood on a stage saying words about strength and letting people in. But Caleb was there, in the back of my mind, in the tulips he left at my dorm with no note, just a memory of me saying I loved their smell. I texted him, "You remembered." He wrote back, "I never stopped thinking about you." We met for coffee, talked around the edges of that night, and I admitted, I wasn't running from you. I was running from needing you. He leaned in, voice low. "What if that night changed me too? What if I'm glad it snowed?" I smiled, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I had to carry it all alone. A year later, we met back at that bus stop. Caleb had a quilt, a thermos of cocoa, a little heater, ridiculous, perfect. He gave me a silver snowflake pendant, flawed in the middle, and said, "It's like us, but it holds." I looked at him, no suits, no walls, just a guy who'd walked beside me. "You said I was safe with you," I told him, "but now I want to keep you safe from thinking you're alone in this." He pulled me close, not a movie moment, just real, and whispered, "I don't feel alone with you." We walked home through the snow, side by side, no promises, just trust. And I'm still figuring out what it means to let someone in without losing myself. So, what do you think? When's the last time someone showed up for you? No strings attached? Or maybe you were the one who showed up. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it, because these moments, they're what keep us human.